let's make a no-sew tree skirt. So we're going to make a nice circle so that we can put it around the bottom of our tree. If you're not going to stitch anything, you have to make sure that your fabric doesn't fray. So this is a felt. This is about 2 yards wide. It comes out at 37 here. So I want to get the same length of fabric as I do width. When you're in the store, it'll have how wide it is right here. If it says 55, you want 1.5 yards of fabric. If it says 72, you want 2 yards of fabric. I'm not sure exactly if this is standard for felt, so you'd get 2 yards. So I am going to measure out 2 yards. And if you want it to be smaller, you don't have to make the biggest that you can manage. That's just how I'm going to do it today. So I'm going to cut 2 yards. And I'm going to make a big circle. So they'll do this in the store for you, and you'll come home with your fabric. I'm not being super exact right now, because now is not the time where I have to worry about it. Okay, this is not going to fray. It's going to stay nice and flat. This is already folded perfectly in half, and that's what I want. I'm going to fold it into quarters. And this is my fold side. It's very important that I have control of my fold side. Okay. Everything is nice and folded. I have a tape measure, and I'm going to use this tape measure to determine how wide I can make this. So I got 2 yards, so it makes sense. I'm a little bit over. You'll probably be more exact. If it turns out that you're not exact, it's okay. You can do 35 or 35.5. So this is chalk. You can use something like this, or you can use a pencil. Okay, so I've got my tape measure. I'm holding this in the corner, but I have to be able to move it. And I'm going to take my chalk, and I'm going to do it just past 36 because I have space, because then I'm going to cut off my chalk line. So I'm keeping this end over here, and I'm allowing it to spin, and then I'm trying to maintain where I have my chalk over here, and I am making a perfect circle. Going to finish this. Okay, so I have all my layers, and I have a light chalk line. So the only thing else I need now is a hole to put it around the skirt. I'm going to do 2.5. So now I'm holding my tape measure in the corner, and I'm going to mark my line at about 2.5, just around. It's not showing up very good, but so that's 2.5. Okay, and then I also need to be able to wrap the skirt around the tree. So this is my fold. I'm going to cut one right along the fold. So I've got 2 folds here because I have a big circle. I'm going to cut one of my folds all the way up to here, right along the edge. If you go nice and slow, you have a nice straight edge, and you don't have to correct anything later. Okay, I'm all the way to here. Now I'm going to cut off my chalk line. So this is the opening where the tree is going to be. perfect little circle. And then I'm also going to cut off my line here. So you need a nice sharp pair of scissors. I like spring-loaded ones because it's easier on my hands. And these are the razor edge ones. And I find that they last a long time. But you need a sharp pair of scissors. You can do this with any square of fabric. You just make it as big as you possibly can. You go nice and neat and slow, you get a nice straight edge. I don't cut all the way through. I keep my scissors on the table and then I guide it slowly, but don't snap it all the way to the end until I'm finished. I find that makes it easier for me to keep a nice straight line. Okay, this is extra, maybe Christmas tree ornaments or something like that. And then this is my perfect circle to go around my tree. One opening. Felt really doesn't have a right side or a wrong side, so you don't have to worry about that. And again, you don't have to make it as wide as 2 feet unless you have enough space for that. You could easily do it with half the amount of fabric. So here is my perfect circle, and then this would be in the back, and you can have a nice skirt around your tree with no sewing. Super easy. If you liked this content, please subscribe. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them. Thank you for stopping by.